Today we're going to learn all about 3D shapes. Now we've already done some work on 2D shapes, so you know all about a square and a rectangle and a circle and a triangle. Now we're going to use what you already know about those shapes, and we're going to look at how they build up into different shapes called 3D shapes. And we're going to see where you might have seen those before, and we're going to learn some very hard names. The first shape that we're going to learn about is called a cube. Have a pause and see if you can say that word. Cube. A cube has 6 faces. Each of those faces is a square. Here are some places that you might have seen cubes before. I bet you've seen ice cubes with their 6 square faces going round them. These ones are melting a bit. And have a look at how a cube would fit onto this bookcase. And there's a box and even a cube to sit on. The next shape that we're going to look at is called a cuboid. Okay, we'll just have another pause, and can you say that word? Cuboid. A cuboid has 6 faces, but they aren't all squares like a cube. The faces of a cuboid can be squares or rectangles. Here are some cuboids that you might have seen. Have you seen the boxes of your cereal in the cupboard before? Because they are cuboids. Have a look at the sides with the rectangle faces, and presents that you might have got for your birthday or Christmas or some other time. Look at these, how beautifully wrapped they are. Have a look at the sides and the faces of those. They are squares and rectangles. The next shape that we're going to learn about is called a cone. We'll have another pause while you try and say that. Cone. A cone has a circle face and a curved face. And can you see the way it goes to a point right at the top there, or at the bottom if you turned it round? Here are some cones that you might have seen before. Have you seen a traffic cone? I bet you didn't think that a witch's hat was a cone when you put it on your head. And of course an ice cream cone. The next shape that we're going to look at is called a cylinder. Can you say that word? Cylinder. A cylinder has 2 circle faces on each end and a curved face. Here are some places that you might have seen cylinders before. You might have seen straws, or cans of pop, or tubes of toothpaste, or just tubes that were being used. Our next shape is called a sphere. A very tricky word to say. Have a go at saying sphere. A sphere has 1 curved face. And I bet you all know where you've seen a sphere before. Of course, a ball is a sphere. A football or a bouncy ball, or even these sweets that are shaped like a sphere. The next shape we're going to look at is called a pyramid. Can you try and say that? Pyramid. Pyramids have triangle faces, and they have a base that the triangles join onto. The base on this pyramid is square, but it can be lots of different shapes. Here are some places that you might have seen pyramids before. You might have seen the pyramids in Egypt. Look how big they are. You might have seen a bar of Toblerone chocolate, or even a box shaped like a pyramid, or had some samosas for your tea. Our last shape is called a prism. Can you try and say that word? Prism. This shape is actually called a triangular prism because it has triangles on it. A triangular prism has rectangle faces and triangle faces. And here are some places that you might have seen triangular prisms before. A lovely piece of chocolate cake, or a tent, or this time the box from the chocolate bar is a triangular prism.